Thank you for joining me, fellow Guardians. This is Sam from Multiverse Mission Control, and today's quest is Undertale. And we're finally here. We've made it to Asgore's castle. But word from Dr. Alphys has it that a human soul alone isn't enough to shatter the barrier. She says that if we want to go home, we have to kill Asgore. In the game where no one has to die? Not gonna happen. I don't care what I have to pay. The elevator's in use. Alright then. What a long hallway to contemplate the journey we've had. New home. Looks a mite familiar, don't it? It's a golden flower. The way is blocked by 2 padlocks. There's a note attached. Howdy, I'm in the garden. If you have anything you need to get off your chest, please don't hesitate to come. The keys are in the kitchen and the hallway. There's a heart-shaped locket inside the box. Will you take it? No. That's got too much sentimental value attached. It's armor defense 15, but my regenerative property is more valuable, I think. There's a worn dagger inside the box. Will you take it? Definitely not. What a comfortable bed. If you laid down here, you might not ever get up. It's a drawing of golden flower. It's a family photograph. Everyone is smiling. There are a lot of striped shirts in here. It's a twin-sized bed. Dusty toys. Room under renovations. Just as before. A long time ago, a human fell into the ruins. Injured by its fall, the human called out for help. You took the key and put it on your phone's keychain. Despite everything, it's still you. This is an innocuous little line in the corner of the game, and it's still about to make me cry. Just masterful. It's Asgore's journal. All the current page says is nice day today. The ink is still almost wet. It's coming time. It's just a chair. It's a king-size bed. Macaroni art of a flower for King Dad. It's a bureau. There's a Santa Claus outfit inside. He's the one who's been going down to Snowdon. It's a clothes drawer. There are robes, button-up shirts, and a pink hand-knit sweater that says Mr. Dad Guy. You and your names. It's a trophy. Number 1 Nose Nuzzle Champs 98. Asriel, the king's son, heard the human's call. He brought the human back to the castle. Oh, Asgore, you and your names. You gave your kid your shit name. Over time, Asriel and the human became like siblings. The king and queen treated the human child as their own. The underground was full of hope. It's a great reading chair, but it doesn't seem like anyone uses it. The coals are still warm. There are photo albums, scrapbooks, books on how to make tea. Seems like gardening tools. The fridge is full of unopened containers of snails. There's some white fur stuck in the drain. It's a note. Howdy, help yourself to anything you want. You took the key and put it on your phone's keychain. The stovetop is very clean. Someone must use fire magic instead. It's full of crumpled up recipes for butterscotch pie. I am gonna start crying. I'm just letting you know that right now. You unlock the chain. There's an old calendar from the end of 201X. A date is circled on it. Then, one day, the human became very ill. The sick human had only one request: to see the flowers from their village, but there was nothing we could do. The next day, the human died. Azrael, racked with grief, absorbed the human's soul. He transformed into a being with incredible power. With the human soul, Azrael crossed through the barrier. He carried the human's body into the sunset, back to the village of the humans. Azrael reached the center of the village. There, he found a bed of golden flowers. He carried the human onto it. Suddenly, screams rang out. The villagers saw Azrael holding the human's body. They thought that he had killed the child. The humans attacked him with everything they had. He was struck with blow after blow. Azrael had the power to destroy them all. But Azrael did not fight back. Clutching the human, Azrael smiled and walked away. Wounded, Azrael stumbled home. He entered the castle and collapsed. His dust spread across the garden. The kingdom fell into despair. The king and queen had lost 2 children in one night. The humans had once again taken everything from us. The king decided it was time to end our suffering. Every human who falls down here must die. With enough souls, we can shatter the barrier forever. It's not long now. King Asgore will let us go. King Asgore will give us hope. King Asgore will save us all. You should be smiling too. Aren't you excited? Aren't you happy? You're going to be free. Azrael. This will take me all the way back. I want to stock up. the last corridor. The Hall of Judgment. Hey, buddy. So you finally made it. The end of your journey is at hand. In a few moments, you will meet the king. Together, you will determine the future of this world. That's then. Now, you will be judged. You will be judged for your every action. You will be judged for every XP you've earned. What's XP? It's an acronym. It stands for execution points. Normally, a way of quantifying the pain you have inflicted on others. When you kill someone, your XP increases. When you have enough XP, your love increases. Love, too, is an acronym. It stands for level of violence. A way of measuring someone's capacity to hurt. The more you kill, the easier it becomes to distance yourself. The more you distance yourself, the less you will hurt. The more easily you can bring yourself to hurt others. There is really something in that that's chilling to the bone. But you never gained any love. Of course, that doesn't mean you're completely innocent or naive. Just that you kept a certain tenderness in your heart. No matter the struggles or hardships you faced, you strived to do the right thing. You refused to hurt anyone. Even when you ran away, you did it with a smile. You never gained love, but you gained love. Does that make sense? Maybe not. Now, you're about to face the greatest challenge of your entire journey. Your actions here will determine the fate of the entire world. If you refuse to fight, Asgore will take your soul and destroy humanity. But if you kill Asgore and go home, monsters will remain trapped underground. What will you do? Well, if I were you, I would have thrown in the towel by now. But you didn't get this far by giving up, did you? That's right. You have something called determination. So as long as you hold on, so as long as you do what's in your heart, I believe you can do the right thing. Alright. We're all counting on you, kid. Good luck. This game is fucking beautiful, man. I wish I could put it more eloquently, just how much. Just what this game did for me. You know what? This is getting a little too somber. So I think now's the time to show you guys a cool Easter egg, because I may not get another chance. So as long as you hold on, so as long as you do what's in your heart, I believe you can do the right thing. Alright. We're all counting on you, kid. Good luck. Wait a second. That look on your face while I was talking. You've already heard my spiel, haven't you? Guilty. I suspected something like this. You're always acting like you know what's going to happen. like you've seen it all before. So, I have a request for you. I kind of have a secret code word that only I know. So I know if someone tells it to me, they'll have to be a time traveler. Crazy, right? Anyway, here it is. I'm counting on you to come back here and tell me that. See you later. And then I quit out again. I should mention that the only way to access this Easter egg is if you don't save just after you hear that speech. You have to have the save to go back to, you know. It's weird. It remembers it even if you don't save. It's weird. Also, I've never shown this screen before. This just shows you how your progress is going. I've made friends with everyone, so... So you finally made it. Huh? Do you have something to say to me? What? A code word? Can you speak a little louder? Did you just say I'm a stupid doo-doo button? Sans! Are you breaking me from across time and space? Wow, I can't believe you would say that. Not only is that completely infantile, but it's also my secret code word. Of course it is. That, however, isn't good enough. But you said... What you need is the secret code word. It's only for people that know the secret code word. Anyway, here it is. Sir, I'm counting on you to come back here and tell me that. See you later. How long is this gonna go for? So you finally made it. Huh? Do you have something to say to me? What? A code word? Can you speak a little louder? Did you just say I'm the legendary fart master? Wow. That's, really childish. Why would you think that was a secret code word? You said it was! Whoever told you that is a dirty liar. You are! I don't have a secret code word. However, I do have a secret triple secret code word, which you just said. So, I guess you're qualified. Here's the key to my room. It's time you learned the truth. When you looked, the key was already on your keychain. And from here, if you reset again, he'll just say, nah, I'm out of material. So, yeah. I know, it's the end game. It's time for epic, super serious confrontation. Plus, we just had that big revelation, but I mean, I already knew from the beginning this was gonna be a pretty somber, pretty sad episode, and you just can't sad all the time. You know, you gotta catch a break in between. That was good for me. Thank you, Sans. How you doing, Dak? There's no response. I'd love to help her, but it doesn't look like there's anything I can do right now. Come again sometime, tra-la-la. I actually wonder if Snowden's dialogue changes now that they've seen Mettaton in action. Okay, but that's not really why I came here anyway. It's time we learn the truth. We finally get to go into Sans's room. You unlock the door and enter. I seem to be going interminably into the black. Something gonna... I hear something. Huh? Hey, Sans! Have you seen my... Oh, hello! You aren't Sans! Wait a second. Why were you using a treadmill in the dark? Sans! Is Sans pranking you across time and space? He does that just on the reg? I hate it when he does that! How immature can you get? Wait, you know your brother has freaky powers and you don't even care? Also, have you seen my action figures? Wait, I know where to look. In my collection. Yeah! Sometimes I'm a genius. All the time. It's a treadmill. There's a message attached. The truth is that you got owned, nerd. Oh, god damn it, Sans. That is not fair. It's Sans' dirty sock pile. Scandalous? I'm not sure you would even care. It appears to be a self-sustaining tornado made of trash. Wow. Some people can only dream of such sloth. It's a worn mattress. The sheets are bunched up in a weird, creasy ball. That's probably my bed, honestly. It's a thank you letter. It's addressed to Santa. To Asgore. Asgore putting up with Papyrus. That would be something to see. It's a lamp. Turn it on? Sure. There's no light bulb. A flashlight is stuck in the bulb socket. What? Turn it on? Okay. The flashlight is out of batteries. Sans. It's an uncovered... We need to talk, Sans. Inside the drawer is a silver key. You put it on your keychain. Now, here's the real truth. The secret is, you go behind Sans' house with this silver key and press Z. You unlock the door and entered. There's a photo album inside the drawer. There are photos of Sans with a lot of people you don't recognize. He looks happy. You look in the drawer. There's some kind of badge. Blueprints. You can't read the symbols they're written in. Or maybe it's just the handwriting? Looks like they relate to some kind of strange machine. There's a strange machine behind the curtain. It seems to be broken. Sans is basically Time Cop. He's the one who has to deal with the resets in this world. I'm gonna make this unconventional for an episode. This episode looks like it's running a bit on the long side, so I don't want to keep you too long, but I think now's the best chance to talk about the real struggle of this game. So, that lab was part of the truth. And it's right here where the game starts to get really intense in a lot of ways. And in many ways, the happy, optimistic shenanigans we've seen up to now are kind of a facade to the real struggle. But in a way, I feel you need to know the other side of things in order to truly appreciate the good this game has to offer. I actually asked a few YouTubers if I could use a bit of footage from their runs, but they never got back to me. And, well, I mean, I don't blame them. It's... But I want to broach this particular run right now because it feels bad to end the game on this note, and I don't really want to do that. You see, Sans knows that this world is now under the mercy of your ability to reset. He knows that you're some kind of anomaly, deleting and creating timelines left and right. That each time, everyone starts over with no memory or only dim deja vu. Essentially, he knows what it means to be an NPC in a player's world. In a player's game. Can you imagine anything more terrifying? Being at the whims of someone who doesn't even fully think you're real? Because how could you think anything is real when you can just warp reality on a whim? And there's one outcome in particular that he fears most. The infamous genocide run. What is it that drives the player to play the genocide run? Is it curiosity? Boredom? The obsessive need to do it all? Is it because it seems like everyone else is doing it, so you feel you're missing out on the full experience? Or does the player believe that mercy and kindness are things that only exist in fantasy, and that this is some kind of personal liberation? And this is actually a crucial part of Flowey's storyline as well. When he first gained the ability to reset, he went around solving everyone's problems flawlessly. However, over time they became predictable. He knew everything they were going to say or do. And eventually he just started viewing them as NPCs in his own game. So detached and dehumanizing, Flowey killed them all for shits and giggles, but that didn't satisfy him either. He never got what he truly wanted. More than that, he could never defeat Sans or claim the human souls as his own. And that's why he hopes to gain an ally in the player. He hopes to drive them to nihilism, like the Joker to Batman.
That's a wonderful idea.
Nobody asked you, Flowey. The game completely shifts once the player starts down that path. The music becomes scary and towns are abandoned. Fighting becomes much quicker as the player just goes straight for the crits. Quick, dirty, and, in a way, obscenely routine. Even the determination status only says determination, providing a sharp contrast to the whimsical status updates that suggests a chilling monomania. It's actually hard to believe these are the same game. Ironically, though, instead of reinforcing the nihilist perspective, you actually tend to see some of the best sides of some of the characters in this run. Papyrus straight up refuses to fight the player, believing that all they need is a friend to turn things around. If the player is truly determined to follow the dark path, they have to kill him in cold blood. And some of them can't do it. Some of them have said they just straight cannot do it. His last words are that he still believes in you. And this alone has stopped some people from proceeding. If you do cut it short there, he'll say one of my favorite lines. Hey, you didn't do a violence! Yeah, don't do a violence, kids. Undyne takes a bullet meant for Monster Kid and begins to turn into dust. But with her own determination, she staves off death and becomes a true anime heroine, transforming into Undyne the Undying. Her theme, Battle Against a True Hero, is just heart-wrenching and beautiful. So if humanity won't appeal to the player, get ready to get your butt kicked, because her boss fight is hard enough that some people have said they just straight up quit in frustration. However, if they do the monstrous deed, she'll reveal that she was merely a distraction, sacrificing herself so that Dr. Alphys could evacuate the underground. Of course, she regrets never having the chance to confess her feelings in the end. It's kind of hard to watch, actually. Hell, even Mettaton decides to put his life on the line, emerging into a brand spanking new Mettaton Neo. But he gets one-shotted because the character's too strong. That was actually kind of funny, despite everything. I'm not gonna lie. Because Mettaton kind of runs me away. He's just so vain and conceited, you know? Also, Burger Pants has surprised me with his reaction. The player threatens him and he's like, I work at the McDonald's XP. What can you do to me? As for Sans, while he's always watching you, he'll never actually step in unless the player commits to a complete genocide run. Fall short and he'll just mock you that you even suck at being evil. And it's not just indiscriminate murder, but dedicated eradication that makes that particular run the run it is. Eerily enough, that modus of tracking everything down is kind of similar to how a player might grind in other RPGs. It's kind of makes you think about what you're really doing in games, you know? Even killing Papyrus isn't enough to set Sans off, but it does provoke the question that if you have some kind of special power, isn't it your responsibility to use it right? Like, if you have the ability to reset a timeline, shouldn't you be trying to do the best you can? He'll also call you a dirty brother killer, so clearly the action tears at him. But why doesn't he react until it's the worst it can be? Is he trying to do what his brother would do, and believe he can change? Is he trying to keep his promised tutorial? Or has the state of his reality so crushed his spirit that he feels that there's no point in stepping in until he can afford not to care anymore? Whatever the case, when he finally does act, boy, howdy. I wish I were fighting alongside him instead. His boss fight is a thing of beauty. He's actually harder than the true final boss, mostly because he straight up bends the rules of the game. Everything that you've taken up to granted for that point, he just messes with. He takes the first turn in a game that has just forever had you moving first. He dodges the player's attacks so no other monster has done that. His attacks do lingering damage while the player is contemplating their next move, like when you assumed everything was paused for a moment. And he'll interrupt one attack to just clip over to another. He's like a friggin' force of nature. And as the player comes to realize what they're up against, the line, "You feel your sins crawling on your back," just resonates with that chilling feeling that you are in for an all-too-deserving punishment. The entire time, Toby Fox's signature theme from his other works plays, a badass little tune called Megalovania, which has become synonymous with receiving an epic beatdown. Sans is also armed with the mysterious Gaster Blasters, and mentions how he gave up trying to go back a long time ago, whatever that means. So this may mean that Gaster was trying to stop this event, or that he was at least involved somehow. But perhaps most hilarious is that Sans' final attack is him simply deciding to keep the game on his turn forever, so that you can't find the way to turn things around. It's like he knows. He knows. And Sans' lines during the battle have become so memorable simply because of how innocuous they are juxtaposed with the epic ponage in store for the murderous player. Additionally, his speech during the thing is like a deconstruction of playstyles that went toward the uber murdery or the uber completionist. It's almost like the game itself is asking, do you really just play games to get good at killing things? Is that the only reason you play games? Or do you really just do everything like a checklist because that's what you do in the game without ever questioning it once? And most importantly, just what exactly does that say about you? Yeah, but at first Sans remains joking about the ordeal. He even guesses how many times the players died based on their expression. But, sadly though, he knows that he's doomed the minute he steps in the ring. He knows he's not fighting to win. He's fighting either to frustrate the player into quitting, or to stall so that he can appeal to the side of them that wants to be good. He is waging an eternally unending battle, and it's always the first time for him, you have to remember, because he doesn't have the memory. He just has a computer telling him that things are resetting. He is waging an eternally unending battle on the hope that his opponent will change their mind. Even when the lethal blow is finally struck, he remains defiant. He musters the strength to stand back up and say, "Well, I'm going to Grillby's." Then he walks off screen so you don't get the satisfaction of seeing him turn into dust. His last words are, "Papyrus, you want anything?" And then you hear the whoosh. That part just killed me. But the worst part, and this gets proved later on, is that he actually does believe you can change. So, to hear him say that he's rooting for me, even knowing what I can do, even knowing that one day I might just get bored and it hit me right where I live. That's why Sans is a big inspiration to me. He may not have determination, but he has determination. Does that make sense? Probably not. In any case, the heart that these characters show, even in the most despair-ridden times, is enough to ensure that I will never commit a genocide run. It's not real to us, but that's the point. We're detached, not just as a player playing a game, but by the insane level of our own power. The genocide run calls attention to actions that one might ordinarily take for granted. It's still real to them. I think that in part this game is meant to show you your own gut reaction to gaining the power of a god. Because they'll all forget, right? What could it hurt to experiment around a bit? They won't remember. But you most certainly will. Do you really love these characters, or will you eventually just come to see them as things? Pawns in your own game? But the reason I resist the genocide run is not to prove how moral I am or anything like that. It legitimately hurt me to even watch that run, especially after getting to know all these delightful characters and seeing the hope that the Nice Path brought. It didn't help that Flowey kind of made fun of me for doing exactly that. Which again, Toby totally knew this was going on YouTube. Speaking of, Flowey gets cold feet toward the end and murders Asgore and breaks his soul so that the player can't escape to the surface. And that's when things get really creepy. Without prompting, your character straight up ends Flowey in cold blood, and then turns around and smiles at the screen. Howdy, I'm such and such. The default name, as was found in data mining, is Kara. That's why I named it Kara. Like character. C-H-A-R-A? Yeah. Character. Meta. But it's also common in RPGs for players to name their characters after themselves, so that moment could have literally been, Hi, I'm Sam, the murderous psychopath. And then they launch into a monologue. They are the demon who comes uncalled, the satisfaction you get when you see the numbers going up. And worst of all, you're the one who taught them to be an omnicidal maniac. Good job breaking it, hero. They then offer you the chance to delete this world permanently, which is the logical end of such actions, honestly. If you refuse, you get a jump scare melty face and the line, Since when were you the one in control? And then Kara deletes the world anyway. If you try to reboot the game, Kara will admonish you for thinking you're above the consequences, but they will relent if you give them your soul. Henceforth, you can complete the game normally, but you will never be able to get a good ending. That's what Genocide Run does. It so thoroughly corrupts your game that you have lost that ability forever, which is another good reason not to do such a thing. But I feel like viewing it is something different. I mean, that's what Sans does. He has to keep abreast of what's going on. But just in case this puts you off finishing the game or finishing my playthrough, I assure you, it does get better. Resisting this run just because it's expected or there, that's its own form of determination. I, as a player, am constantly making that choice, just not to give in. I'm on the nice path, and I truly believe in it. I'm going to follow in the path of Azrael Dreamer. I may have the power to destroy everything, to escape and obtain more power, but that path is not liberating. Not as much as you might think. It just leads to you being completely alone with your sins. Instead, I'm gonna take the hits and try to inspire others to make the best world we can. The wonderful friends I've made are worth holding on for. And besides, I'm not playing as Kara. Next time, we're confronting Asgore, and we're going to prove once and for all that we don't need to bend to this cruel world, that there is greater power than force, that we can be the world we want to see. Right now, I can feel everyone's hopes and dreams bolstering me on. So I won't let them down. So, thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And remember, You all have the potential to get... I mean, good. Peace out.